and we are at the Rochester Club with the LaBarbera family. At least two of the three.
That's right.
3 points. And welcome back to Rochester, guys.
Thank you very much. Great to be back as always.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Actually, the third one is in the house too, but he's arriving late. Yeah, John's here also, but he's trying to either park the car or find a cab. Sorry.
Well, we'll talk about John's project with you two, Caravan. People really just attach themselves to that CD so much, and just they love the arrangements, especially tunes like Young Rabbits. I mean, just in Atlantis, and just talk about playing in that kind of context in the big band.
You know, for me, the job is the same. I really have to just keep things moving along, try to stay out of the way when I'm supposed to, but try to, be more assertive when it's needed. But it's basically just keeping things together, holding it together, keep it swinging.
Yeah, for me, that was my career, big bands for 7 years. So it's just like being in your home seat at home, like a big leather chair with John's big band. And he writes a lot for me too, so there's a lot of tenor solos. It's a great project.
Speaking with Pat and Joe LaBarbera here on Jazz 90.1. I was reading a story here, Pat. Now, you were with the Buddy Rich Band in the early 70s, correct?
67 to 74.
The reason I was asking that question, I was just reading a book, and it talked about, this is a gig there's trillions of gigs, but there's one gig I always wanted to know about. After the first Ollie Frazier fight, apparently they said you guys did the after party, and I was like blown away that one of the biggest fights of all time.
Because Buddy's friend was the fight promoter for Muhammad Ali. He did a lot of his promotion of his fights, and the son was actually a guitar player. So we used to go up to their apartment, and it was in Manhattan. And we'd be there for these parties. Buddy was, of course, he was into Hollywood and show business, and a lot of those people were always around that big band. And we did the Carson show all the time, so he was constantly, had that crowd followed the big band.
I can't even imagine, because I was just reading the stories about the after party and all these big bands. Duke Ellington was there, Buddy Rich. I mean, your band was with Buddy Rich, and just Count Basie. They're all there for an after party for a fight.
I remember doing the one thing with Basie's band, Woody's band, and Buddy's band. I can't remember. I think we did something for it was like CBS Records or something at that point. And I remember Buddy sitting in with Basie's band and playing every chart in the book and not using any music, and he knew every fill. And I asked him afterwards, I said, how do you do that? He says, I know every band's music, every big band that's out there, I know their book. And if I don't, I watch the lead trumpet player breathe. He said, that's why I'm always turning to my left, and you'll see I'm always watching the lead trumpet player and watch how they breathe. And he says, I can basically psych out a figure. So that's how he did it.
Speaking with Pat and Joe LaBarbera, again, blown away as well here on Jazz 90.1. Man, Joe, for you as a drummer, I mean, whether it's a quartet, it's a quintet, or it's a big band, for yourself, how do you get yourself prepared in terms of what you got to do as essentially playing traffic cop?
Well, I try to be part of the music. I don't want to just be a timekeeper. I want to be involved in the music. I'm kind of a big picture performer, so if what I'm doing is adding to the big picture of the music and making it sound good, great. But it doesn't really do anything for me to just play for myself and try to show off. So I'm trying to be part of what's going on and be as connected to everybody on stage as possible. And that's the same with a big band or a small band. Always has been.
And although I ask you guys this question all the time, I just love the answers. Talk about just growing up as a family, coming up, I mean, in the 50s and early 60s, and the music you guys did, as well as, I love the picture of inside the cover of you guys all playing together, including mom and dad. That just really blows me away.
Well, we played as a family band. I actually played before them. My father had a small band, and I played with him. And then after that, he kind of dissolved that, and as we were growing up, we switched over to the family band. So we played everything. I mean, mostly weddings and parties and, I don't know, just all kinds of different events, outdoor fairs and amateur hours, and auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club and, all kinds of stuff at that. And it's the 50s. It was like, 52, 53, 54, 55, through that era there.
Speaking with Pat and Joe LaBarbera, playing two sets tonight. And who's in the band?
Brian Dickinson is playing piano. Brian Dickinson, a great Canadian pianist, a Juno Award-winning Canadian pianist who basically has some great trios. He has his own band. He plays, he writes, he teaches. I've been playing with Brian for years. And, of course, Neil Swainson, a great Canadian bass player who's on many Juno Award-winning albums, but also has his own album out featuring Joe Henderson and Woody Shaw, which is... And I don't know if it's still available, Neil, or not.
I don't think so. I think it's out of print.
But it's a great record.
It's a fantastic record. Yeah. Well, again, thanks again for taking jazz further for the whole family.
Our pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for doing the interview. Appreciate it.